Welcome back. Recently, Scotland became the first country to provide sanitary products to girls for free. Here in St. Lucia, the CEO of Do Something Different, Temba Cadet, says this is a move that St. Lucia should emulate.
Many may not be aware that period poverty is a real thing. Many women in low-income households cannot afford or access suitable period products. Scotland has become the first country in the world to make period products free for all women. In Scotland, local authorities now have the duty to ensure that free items such as tampons and sanitary napkins are available to anyone who needs them. In St. Lucia, the CEO and founder of Do Something Different, Temba Cadet, says this law is definitely something they support.
So I really want to use this opportunity to make a call to the Ministry of Gender Relations and even the Ministry of Health to take steps towards implementing a similar initiative in St. Lucia. Of course, we know that this might not be something that can happen overnight, but if we can even look towards providing these sanitary products for young girls in schools from the primary to the secondary level or anything along those lines, I think it will be great progress for our island.
DSD has partnered with many other youth-based organizations to provide care packages to women.
It's also a step closer towards gender equality. It's a step closer to good health and well-being, which we know is one of the Sustainable Development Goals, part of our 2030 agenda. So we just applaud Scotland on that initiative as a youth-based organization, as an organization. Do Something Different has partnered with other organizations to donate these products. We are quite impressed with Scotland, and we really hope that St. Lucia can take up a similar mantle and move towards making what may seem like a little change but can have such a huge impact on its female population.
Studies show that in addition to period poverty, there is a huge issue with period stigma. Researchers say this is particularly an issue for young girls. It found that 71% of 14 to 21-year-olds felt embarrassed buying period products.
We should know that period poverty is a very real thing. It's a global issue affecting women who just don't have access to safe, hygienic sanitary products and who are unable to manage their periods. The nature of a menstrual cycle is that it's a part of our body as women. It's not something that we can avoid or that we choose to have. And so the government of Scotland recognizing that and taking a step to make life easier for its citizens is something that we should all look to and something that we should all applaud.
Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
The Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari is standing firm in its belief that St. Lucians should be allowed to choose whether they want the COVID-19 vaccine.
The island's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, recently revealed that a vaccine created to combat COVID-19 is scheduled to reach the island in March 2021. This news has been met with apprehension by those worried that the vaccine will be made mandatory and that their rights to choose to decline will be stripped away from them. On Friday afternoon, the president of the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, Aaron Alexander, said when the vaccine reaches St. Lucian shores, it should be a case of to each his own in every sense.
When it comes to the vaccine, from the Rastafari perspective, from our views, we believe there are alternatives because one of the main things is to build up your immune system. And there are natural remedies, there are things that you can do to build up your resistance and to build up your immune system. So I believe that a vaccine should not be made mandatory. It should be that people could take, people will be allowed to take it on their own free will. It should not be something that is forced on people, and people should not be punished if they choose not to take the vaccine.
Alexander said he has apprehensive opinions on the vaccine, mainly due to the short time it took to produce it. However, he maintains that St. Lucia should adopt the same attitude of the British government.
It should be on in the UK. The UK, it is not mandatory in the UK to take the vaccine, and the UK Parliament voted on that. And one of the things that some people were saying is that those who do not take the vaccine, they should be punished, they should be limited in their movements, they should be, ostracized, if so to speak, from many things. And the UK Parliament said, hell no, this is discrimination. So they will not allow these things. So I'm hoping that we could take a page from that and ensure that persons who, maybe for their own religious beliefs or their religious manifestations, that they do not believe in vaccines, people should be given alternatives. And, just monitor these persons who opt for an alternative, monitor them and ensure that they're safe, etc. and it should not be something that is forced on people.
The ICAR president said the masses from nations around the world have spoken after a survey within 16 countries, including Caribbean nations, showed that only 35% of people supported taking a COVID vaccine. He said if those wishes are ignored, this will spell trouble.
I believe if they do that, then this might cause some unrest. This might cause some civil disobedience. People might rise up against this. There might be a very strong level of resistance. So I'm hoping it doesn't get to that, and we should do the right thing and ensure that we do not enforce this thing that people must take the vaccine. It should not be mandatory. I believe we should follow the example of England and ensure that people's rights are respected, the human rights, because at the end of the day, there's still that component of human rights that we have to ensure.
Alexander said there are actions that every individual can take to ensure that they stay COVID-free without needing the vaccine. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
As the numbers of local vacation sites and resorts continue to get slimmer due to COVID-19 protocol and the gradual reopening of the local tourism sector, one top-tier resort is letting St. Lucians know that they are still valued. The Bay Gardens Marina Haven is opening their doors strictly to locals and regional guests from the travel bubble. The executive director for Bay Gardens Resorts, Sinovnik Destang, says the initiative is one that is affordable and highly favorable for St. Lucians.
The Bay Gardens family has stepped up to let St. Lucians know that they are seen and valued with the launch of their annual staycation program. Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic ravaged the local tourism sector, leaving hundreds out of work and thousands affected financially, there has been a collective sigh of relief by those working in the sector following the reopening in June. However, the reopening has left locals feeling somewhat slighted, as protocols from the COVID-19 Prevention and Control Bill prevents locals from lodging at the same resorts opened to international tourists, thus leading to slim pickings for locals looking to take up staycation opportunities. The executive director for Bay Gardens Resort, Sinovnik Destang, said the resort chain has come up with a solution to this problem.
So here at Bay Gardens Marina Haven, we recently launched or relaunched our staycation program. So for the months of December and January, we're going to be open to persons who are in the Caribbean bubble only, which includes participants in the ARC, but also includes St. Lucia nationals who have been responding extremely well. I was just talking to a couple from Labrie who was here celebrating their 37th anniversary, and are just happy and thrilled to have a hotel of a high standard following the protocols that they can in fact participate in and that they can in fact stay at.
Destang gave the details on when and how locals can get their hands on the offers available.
So that's going until the end of January with some great rates for locals starting at just $221 Eastern Caribbean dollars a night, and that includes breakfast. And we're also doing a special package for persons on New Year's Eve. Of course, on New Year's Eve, we're not having any parties per se, not any big celebrations, but we do have a package for just $299 EC per person that includes accommodation, dinner, and breakfast the next morning with a late checkout. So for $598 Eastern Caribbean dollars per couple, it's a great deal on New Year's Eve, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen again. So I encourage everyone to take advantage of it. It's very limited numbers, of course, because COVID-19 protocols are in full effect. So we have a very limited number, and we've gotten so far more inquiries than we have space to accommodate. So we're encouraging everyone to book early to ensure that you secure your spot to spend a New Year's Eve with us as we say goodbye to 2020, a year that I'm pretty sure we'll be happy to say goodbye to and to look forward to 2021.
Bay Gardens is the island's largest locally owned chain of hotel and resorts. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Feed the Poor Ministries and FCIB on Friday partnered to provide over 100 Christmas meals to the less fortunate within the city of Castries. The CEO of Feed the Poor Ministries says that while this is an initiative which is always undertaken on a yearly basis, partnering with a corporate entity to bring Christmas cheer has taken on new meaning, given that the island is still reeling from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Despite the pandemic, Feed the Poor Ministries has been providing hot meals to the underprivileged within the city of Castries whenever possible. On Friday, the organization partnered with CIBC First Caribbean International Bank to spread some Christmas cheer by providing over 100 packaged meals. Country head for CIBC St. Lucia, Victor Boyce, explained that initiatives like these highlight the corporate responsibility of the organization.
We really feel strongly as an organization that our corporate responsibility is to reach out to the less fortunate in the society, and we take this responsibility very seriously. And so today we found it fit as a team for myself and some of my colleagues from First Caribbean, particularly here at the Bridge Street branch, to come out and to partner physically with the Feed the Poor Ministries to undertake this very important mission.
CEO of the Feed the Poor Ministries, Gaspar Henry, explained that despite the pandemic, the organization felt it imperative to spread cheer during this time.
Today we cater meals for 150 less fortunate persons. I feel that First Caribbean, hearing the call and answering the call for the staff members to take time off their work to come here and serve meals, I think it's a very good gesture. So we are there to ensure that we give put a smile on the face of our senior citizens. Yes, things are rough, but St. Lucians, they go beyond the call of duty to contribute during this festive season. I believe our senior citizens, they are the ones who build the infrastructure that we are benefiting from today. So to give them a meal is something that we see as an honor.
Boyce explained that despite the pandemic and the impact that it is having on the business sector, it is important that they show support to the public wherever they can.
We really can't just see ourselves as being in a country just to make money. Banks. Sometimes persons feel as if banks make a lot of money, and that's our only role and responsibility. Our responsibility is a lot deeper. We are members of a society, we are members of a community. And so we have to take our responsibility as good corporate citizens, even in trying times, especially in trying times, to ensure that we are doing the things that we need to do to ensure that when we grow, that our citizens grow with us as well. And if we're going through challenging times, and we understand our citizens are going through challenging times, it is our responsibility to step up and to help where we can. So we think that it is critical, particularly during a pandemic, to ensure that we are out there even more.
Feed the Poor Ministries has indicated that they will be undertaking another initiative with the corporate organization next week. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Rubis St. Lucia has donated over 30 digital devices to aid with online learning. The company has partnered with non-profit organization Do Something Different on this project.
Do Something Different St. Lucia received a generous donation from Rubis West Indies Limited on Friday morning. The non-profit organization is a youth-driven group with a mandate to assist and empower underprivileged students in St. Lucia. Every year, the organization donates school bags and supplies to students in need across the island. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, students have now had to adapt to an online modality of instruction. To assist with this process, Rubis donated 15 laptops and 20 tablets to DSD, which will be donated to children across the island. Founder of Do Something Different, Temba Kade, graciously accepted the donation.
When the pandemic started and we realized that there was a strong need for these e-devices, before we even knew it would roll out for so many months, we set out to help students, particularly with laptops and Kindles and anything that we could do. So we rallied that support with a $10 initiative where we were asking as many persons as possible to donate $10, and we said if we could put that money together, we would be able to buy devices. So Rubis, without even knowing that we did this, and to come on board and to fulfill your corporate social responsibility, we just want to say thank you. It's greatly appreciated, and you will see the fruits of where this has gone.
The presentation was made by the accounts executive for Rubis St. Lucia, Jennifer Lead. She explains that the company understands the importance of children having these devices during such a time.
We have realized that it's very important for kids to have a device. And just speaking to one of the counselors this morning, I had a unique eye-opener into what it's like and what the challenges are that children have in the communities now. We have so many kids that, yes, they may have small devices, but these devices are not usually suitable for going onto Google Classroom and for being able to conduct what has now become the new digital learning arena. So it's critically important for us, and I think Rubis has really stepped up here, and we really want to be able to work closely with the community. And I think this is a first step, and we know that many organizations are doing the same. But we are particularly pleased today to work with this group called Do Something Different.
Kadi explained that the organization had many requests come in for devices. While they are unable to provide everyone with devices at this point in time, they have selected the neediest students to begin with.
What we've paid particular attention to is teachers who've reached out to us, as well as the National Students Council. We have members on our DSD team who are part of the National Students Council, so that way we can actually get down to the ground level of the people who really need the devices. So far, through the teachers that we've spoken to and through the youth council members that we've spoken to, we've identified students all around the island, in Babono, in Grosele, Deruso, Dennery, Miku, even Sufre. So that's how students are being picked. We wanted to make sure we know exactly who would be receiving it. Of course, we won't release the names or so on, but we will say and identify which schools that they were given to.
She says the group also plans to donate other school supplies such as books, bags, and stationery, given that an announcement was made that schools will be reopening in January. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Thank you, Genevieve. You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.